lasers and I got my lasers and uh the intent was high for that first year of,
Hmm.
oh, I want to be on the leaderboard. But then, man, that that kind of subsided, and that competitiveness with my athletes and my classes was like, all right, I'm on the leaderboard, it's whatever. So like I needed something to bring that intent back where, yeah, we're going to time today, but it's kind of just to reinforce what I'm seeing with my eyes already.
Yeah,
Uh, so I'd say about the last 3 years, I've really tried to hammer that home. Uh, Probably the last 5 or 6 years, I've been on diving in the conditioning. I mean, ashamed to admit, but there was a point in my career where I was like, yeah, we'll just let practice take care
yeah,
of their stuff. And like, I guess good for me for diving into that and wanting to learn a little bit more about that because I don't think that your practice is going to take care of your sports, you know? I mean, your football is an average, but you got some kids covering 9,000 yards, something a game. Like your practice is not checking that box. And you've got ultimately in my mind, if you've got the talent and you've got the athletes, you're going to win ball games.
yeah,
Uh, but if you can set up a good conditioning plan and you're in sync with your head coaches, whatever sport that is, and you've got a good relationship with them, I think conditioning can be that step ahead that makes you outlast, makes you repeat all these high efforts that we're asking these athletes to do in a game. I think that could be everything else equal. I think the conditioning aspect is going to separate some of those teams that can last either all 4 quarters or all halves. If you're talking about soccer, uh, or make you last the whole freaking season. And we're
yeah,
playing ultimately better if we make postseason. We're playing better in postseason than we did at the beginning. Uh, and I think not diving into the physiology side of energy systems is kind of a cop out, I guess, of of not prescribing smart conditioning because I think if you have an understanding of it, if it's well programmed and progressively overloaded, just like the weight room, just like with anything, it could be a tool that could cut deep if it's used well.
for sure, for sure. I always
Sorry,
tell a guy,
I went on a long rant right there. Sorry, bro.
here's what I did. I messed up on the record button and it caught you right at the right time because you hit exactly where I wanted you to start. So my fault on the previous part, but um, with the conditioning aspect, I always tell our guys we can be as strong as you want it to be, but it doesn't matter unless you can repeat that effort over and over and over again, and you can just wear guys out. It's not just to physically dominate them, it's to take their soul because they know that you're not going to back down.
Yeah,
And the only way you can do that is through high level conditioning.
I agree.
Yeah. Like with me being a college guy, I had things very, very set up. We were off season, we were spring ball, we were preseason, we were in season. And things kind of changed with the high school level. And I'm realizing that now in year four of doing this as a high school. But it's kind of cool to see the transfer from different sports as well. But when you get like an 8 and 12 week period with these guys and take them through an actual thing where, all right, well, it's speed on Monday, speed on Thursday, tempo run one day, we're gonna run hills another day. Like you were about as well rounded as you can possibly be, and I think that's exciting.
I do too, man. And football is one of those last like football is getting in, high school football is getting into where, you got the 7-on-7 stuff.
Hmm.
But football is still one of those like you're not having to deal with travel. You're not
Yeah,
having to deal with travel ball
yeah,
in the sense that your soccer, your baseball, your basketball does. So with football, for the most part, you get a true off season. Like you might have to dance around some 7-on-7s in the spring, but it's an awesome thing to when you can progress and have, like you said, these 8 to 12 weeks of we're going to do this, we're going to do this.
Mhm.
And if you show up, I guarantee you, you're going to be a more robust athlete at the end of this 12 weeks heading into our season.
100%.
Uh,
100%.
we, I trained a, I trained, she's going to her first year at Wofford University, and I had her for all 4 years of high school. She would have seen me at least 2 days a week. This is the private sector, at least 2 days a week, some days 3 days a week, but at least come see me 2 days a week. And for 4 years, man, she was a baller. Like
Yeah.
she spent time getting her shots in, getting her skill work in. But the amount of AAU games that we had to dance around, and then finally she finished her senior year of basketball, no travel ball. She came to me 5 days a week, and I was like, I told her, I said, I can't wait till you go to college because you're going to actually get to like hit these mesocycles and everything be planned and meticulous because they're not having to deal with your travel schedule. Uh, and this summer, I had her a month before she went to, she reported in June and she's going to be there for a month. But to just be able to come in and I'm not dealing, the only thing I'm dealing with is just life stress, which we all deal with, but life stress, and she's still going to do her skill work. But she ain't coming in on Monday saying, I played 8 games this
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah.
I need to pivot. So I think we need to get back to that. It's tough though, because everyone, I think every freaking kid, every parent is convinced if I don't play this travel sport, I'm not going to go play at the next level.
Yeah.
And it's disheartening, man, because from what we try to do, it is hard. It is hard to plan out 8 to 12 weeks at a time when we've got
Mhm.
all this other crap we're dealing with. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for her in that process. I got a college boy that's done playing travel. He's going to play soccer at the next level. So I've got 8 weeks of him of we did some maximal aerobic speed stuff and we're sticking to that.
Mhm.
Uh, he's got a beep test he's going to do at the college level. So we're gonna
Crushing
kind of, yeah. So yeah, just get me on my soapbox over here real quick.
it. Yeah, like I have a cousin who I trained virtually, like through email, all the way through high school. And his junior year, he didn't tear his ACL, but he hurt his knee pretty good. They had to send him on the shelf for a while. And he was always travel baseball, always this. So he rehabbed that, just did his training, didn't do anything baseball wise for 6 or 8 weeks. I can't remember the exact number off the top of my head. Came back and threw 3 mile an hour harder. Now he's at
That's great.
Butler. He's on a full ride. He was up for Big East Player of the Year for as a
That's
freshman.
awesome.
So it's, if we can get him to high school, if we can just get him to the high through the high school and just maximize where their ceiling is at that point, college takes care of the rest. Competition makes them rise at that point. And you got still got some pretty damn good coaches at the college level, which is exciting. So they get to take a kid that's prepared and then really see what you can do with them. And I think that's really cool.
Oh
But
yeah, and that like I had conversations with her, and she had sent me a message. She had been there 3 weeks. Of course, I got on her strength coach's Instagram and try to
mhm,
kind of peep and see what they're doing. And she sent me a message about 2 weeks into her month of reporting. She's like, Frank, like literally everything that we've done here at Wofford, like I've done with you.
yeah,
Like nothing is new. And I was like, that's all that I wanted.
yeah,
For you to transition and be comfortable in every facet that you're going to see from a strength and conditioning standpoint. And like I know she's going to take care of her skill work because she's a dog when it comes to that. So that's just a freaking great message that you can receive. Like, hey, everything that we're doing in the weight room, I already done.
mhm,
So that's nice. And you're right. If we can maximize at least in high school, maximize their ceiling
mhm.
by the time they get to college and they're not having to play all these
Oh,
extra travel games. And like you said, they're gonna rise if the competition is there. On the opposite end of that, you got some that just
can't come
can't
full.
handle the competition, can't handle because that's what I tell a lot of the guys and girls that go play. Like when you go play, regardless of the level. everybody was the best player on their high school team.
Oh
Like
yeah. Oh yeah.
there has to be something that separates you. And if you don't have a work ethic, which I think what we do helps solidify that work ethic of showing up and not wanting to do anything but still getting your crap done, you know? So if you've got a work ethic and something else to back that up, then those kids usually last. But the ones that were lazy in high school and they usually don't figure it out by that time, but
No, and it's always my goal is to get that out of them.
yeah.
Is like we're gonna work, and if like I unfortunately I had three seniors a couple weeks ago that decided to not do half my workout, and I had 60 guys in the room, and I sat them all down and read them the riot act. It's basically like, look, you have a choice. It's either you come in, you do the board, it's non-negotiable, or I will pitch you against each other and I will make you weed each other out. And to me, that's the ultimate level of competition is when you can get them all accountable with themselves.
Yep.
And if fists come to it, so be it. Because I grew up in that age where it wasn't a bad thing if you got hit in the face because you weren't performing. Like, all right,
Yeah.
I learned.
There
I'm
was
sure.
a quote I saw from one of Oklahoma, University of Oklahoma's baseball players that said, "It isn't a matter of whether or not you get punched in the mouth.
Yep.
You're gonna get punched in the mouth. It's whether or not you like the taste of blood." And you keep going. I was like, God dang,
I
bro.
like that. I like that.
Yeah. So I think you're right. Like they've got to set the tone early and there's got to be some intrinsic motivation. And I think we can do that a little bit and kind of leading by example, but like I'm not holding your hand every
Oh yeah.
day.
Oh yeah.
I can't do that, especially if I've got other people there ready to work. So you hit the nail on the head with that, man.
So how do you structure your week in terms of like how you want to set up your conditioning and whatnot? Like what is it? Is it games based on certain days? Is it pure speed another? I mean, how do you really set it up?
So I don't get to condition with my classes at Murray exactly how I would because we have mixed athletes in there.
Yep.
So they kind of get this generic blend with pushing and pulling intensity and volume depending on if they're in season or not. And our weight room is pretty tiny. I don't know the square. We're looking at maybe 2,100 square feet. Got 9 racks in there that are
Yep.
not legally spread apart. Uh, so from that perspective, I do 4 at a rack.
Yep.
And like you know, every logistics is going to drive everything. I've got a movement in the rack, I got a movement between the racks,
Hmm.
I got a movement maybe in the hallway that's right there beside us, some type of slam or something. Uh, so the way I structure our day to day or our week, it may change every quarter depending
Hmm.
on where we're at, where I'm at mentally, where they're at mentally. Do we want to spend less time in the weight room because it's high stress as far as having 36 kids in there? Uh, so where we ended, I kind of shifted to where we started out where we were Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the weight room. And let's say we were doing, I usually keep our Mondays an upper body type thing because none
Hmm.
of my kids are recovering on the weekend. So they get pumped up about either bench press or overhead press. And we started doing where we would warm up in our gymnasium and then walk to the weight room. So as far as that goes, we would do some type of relay where I'd split the class into 2 teams and we would do some type of relay to warm up and get some work capacity where they're probably working for 40 to 60 seconds, sometimes more, and
Yep.
they'd get a little break, give or take 2 or 3 rounds, depending on how competitive the class was, how long that relay took. Uh, so like an upper body day, I would drag the sleds into the main gym. They've got felt on the bottom of them. Load them up, and we would do pushes. Let's say you push that half court, then you've got to throw a med ball down, do a bear crawl, go grab the med ball, bring it back. Just some stuff to get the heart rate elevated. uh, to get the upper body primed. We'd probably spend 10 to 15 minutes in there. Then we'd go to the weight room and we'd do two warm-up sets of whatever our main lift was. And we ran the 5-3-1 this whole year, just shifted our stuff. So we'd do two sets of five to warm up, and then we would hit our work sets. And some days that's all we would do. And some days we would do kind of an EMOM type at the end of a workout where we'd got four stations and every minute on the minute you're doing something. And I've got a couple kids in each class that have chest straps and their heart
Wow.
rate monitors. Hey, I want your heart rate. You starting on the minute, I want your heart rate elevated. And then that remaining time, I want to see how low we can drop that heart rate till we hit the next time. Uh, Tuesdays, we would usually do, that was our speed day coming off of the weekend. We'd have that upper body day, and then we would run that same dog prep that you saw and the sprint chain. And like I talk about whenever I present it, I love the warm-ups because it's a great way to sneak in some capacity where we're, especially once they know all the movements that I'm yelling out, we can keep going, and we're getting probably 10 to 12 minutes of just continuous effort before we start any type of
Mhm.
game or chase game. And warm-ups are a great way to sneak in and just try crazy stuff. Just trying to find some rhythmic stuff, make them think, left brain, right brain.
Yep.
Uh, so we usually do that Tuesdays, and then we would run some type of tag game or dodgeball game. And then we'd go time two or three fly tens in the hallway. We have a huge hallway that I'm lucky enough that our principal lets me sprint down. We have about 50 yards tiled area where we can sprint. And at that point, man, like we've got some good work capacity stuff in. Uh, we've got some great sprints before we even go time sprints with our chase games or dodgeball games. And I use Claros by Dan Mullins, and anything that I enter in on the computer, if any of their sprints drop below 90%, we cut them
Mhm.
off right there.
Yep.
Uh, and there are some kids, the ones that work hard, that say, "Hey, we're going to sprint. If they're out of season, we're just going to keep sprinting until you hit that number below 90%, and then we'll cut it there." Uh, Wednesday, we're back in the weight room, and again, towards the end of the year, we warm up in the gym. We'll do some type of duck walk to half court, lunges, again, some type of relay on Wednesday before we hit the weight room and do front squats. Uh, Competition. Sometimes we'll play the game keepy uppy where I think we did it
Yeah,
at
I love
that.
that.
Yeah, the heart rate's elevated. We're getting some bounce. We're a little contact prep in there too. Uh, and then we'll go to the weight room, two warm-up sets of front squats. We pair all of our main lifts. I pair an accessory with it. That's kind of, if we're doing front squats, I'm probably pairing some type of row so it doesn't
Mhm.
take away from their legs. Uh, and then, if we feel good, we'll hit an accessory set. If not, we got our main lift. Like, I'm not near as rigid as I used to be of we have to do this, we have to do this, especially since they see me 5 days a week for a full year. Like I know if we're hitting our main strength sets, we're getting some quality work in. We're getting work capacity work in with our relays. Uh, coordination is one of the things that I harp on a ton. If like I can get kids coordinated, like I think that's going to carry over a lot more than any other skill, I guess. Uh, So Thursday we do our boring tempos. Like there's some conditioning that's like this is what we're gonna do. Uh Tempos we're running sideline to sideline,
Mhm.
and I try to keep it at 70%. If we're out of season, I may tell some of those kids like I want you at about a seven. Like you could still carry on a conversation, but a couple breaths in between. In season kids, I'm like, I want you to be able to talk to your buddy the whole time we're doing
Mhm.
tempos. I don't want you to get lethargic with your mechanics. I want you to still break down on the turns. Uh, and we'll usually progress those at 30-30. The next week we'll go 35-25. and we'll get to where we're doing 12 reps at the end of that 9 weeks. They're probably doing just a 12-minute tempo
Hmm.
back and forth. Now, if we've got out of season, we may throw in a cardiac output station on that day to where, hey, we're gonna give our legs a break, and we'll split up into 4 or 5 stations where we're doing some crawl patterns, we're doing some isometric holds, or we're doing some extensive med ball slams, just to kind of give their legs a break. And if a majority of the group that's in that class is in season, then the whole class will just do that instead of just them,
Hmm.
to kind of keep us all on the same page. And then some classes we'll do where I call crossy road tempos to kind of mix it up. We'll still do tempos, except we'll have a group that's going sideline to sideline, a group
Yeah.
baseline to half court, and then kind of throw a diagonal one in there, just so they're not checking out. They still have to pay attention to where they're going. They're making some cuts, trying to dodge people. I don't want any of them to run into each other. So that kind of mixes up the monotony on that. Some days I'll bring out those hurdles that we have, and I'll say, all right, during your 30 seconds of work, I got 6 different hurdles set up at different heights. Get you some jumps in, get you 1 or 2 jumps during those 30 seconds. Just a little, just little things to kind of break up the monotony because tempos are boring, especially if you don't understand exactly what we're trying to do. And I try to preach. We have whiteboard sessions where we go over a topic, and I spend the first 4 or 5 weeks going over energy systems with them and kind of try to nail home the importance of the aerobic system and why we do easy stuff. Uh, a lot of the kids are not used to hearing like, "Hey, you need to slow it down. We need to slow it down just a little bit here." Uh, so I try to reiterate why we do the slow stuff and the easy stuff. Uh, but still, tempos are boring. So if we can find ways to mix them up. Now, some classes can't handle fun stuff. And like I'm sure you understand, like, and all it takes is like 1 or 2, maybe 3. I can handle that. But if you get to where there's 5 or 6, that those 5 or 6 can ruin it for the whole class, and like we shut down the fun. We're just going to do our drills today, and we're not going to have any fun. Now I'll try to dribble in some more fun stuff to see if they can handle it, but some classes just can't handle it, whether they're too cool for the stuff or whether they're just too competitive and they want to fight each other.
Yeah.
Which is, if I have sports together, I'm all about that. Like,
Hmm.
like get competitive
Compete.
enough where we're fighting. But if we got a kid that is a freshman that plays soccer, and then we've got this senior football player getting pissed off at him, like,
No.
no, like have enough competitive edge. But I tell my groups all the time, the next best thing to playing and winning is playing and losing. Like, we're out here competing against one another. So like let that be enough drive and intent for you. There's no need to get pissy with someone and want to
Hmm.
fight them over a little couple relay games that we're playing. And then Friday took the long way home on this one, but Friday we'll do some type of sprint prep, and we'll hit a quick dodgeball game or chase game. Then we go to the weight room. We hit sumos. We've got broad jumps, and then the hall right beside us, we got enough room to where we can do a 5 to 10 yard fly.
Hmm.
And we just hammer that. We have about 3 minutes set on the clock that we follow. So you'll do 3 sumos, rest about 15 seconds. You'll get 2 broad jumps in. We've got tape in the floor in the weight room that they can just measure. 15, 20 seconds, go run a 10-yard sprint, come back. When that 3 minutes is up, you go again. So Fridays we're in and out pretty quick, and Fridays they have about 15 minutes once we head back before class is over. They can shoot around, play spike ball, throw the football in there, four square, sit on the bleachers. At that point, I don't care. A majority of them will play basketball, spike ball. We got four square up top. So Friday's kind of our leisurely day where we get in, we get out, put the work in, and then they have some free time for themselves.
I like that. You said a lot of things that I really liked, and like the coordination piece is something that gets lost so much. Is like the ability to go and play teaches the body more than anything. Like even
Yep.
when you're talking about your Fridays, Okay, well, Friday we can go play basketball afterward. Like, well, that's freaking conditioning in itself.
Yeah,
Body awareness, that's coordination, that's so many different things. And if you have none of those, it will bring you a skill set that you didn't have.
I
Um,
agree. And I think, like I said, I think everything that we do in the weight room, not even mentioning like their sport, if you could just coordinate all your limbs together,
mhm.
it's going to make everything else so much easier. So I think that like coordination is the number one thing that I'm trying to enhance with this age group that I have coming through. And like I get some kids and I'm just like, man, do you guys not do anything in like elementary PE? Like I feel like this is stuff that should be hammered every day at that age to kind of for these motor skills to get fine tuned. So the stuff that we're doing comes a little easier, but uh
And that's a big
coordination.
one right there. Like we implement a lot of like wheelbarrow walks and crab walks. And I've even played around a little bit with handstand holds, like get up against the wall, hold yourself in a
Yep.
position. Football kind of fell on their face on that one. But, it's one of those that we're going to roll back in next year just because it's so important. And even just baseline tumbling. Like if you can do a
Yep.
somersault and stand up, like that's pretty good stuff, man. That's something that we used to be able to do as kids because it was part of PE.
Yep.
But now I don't know what they do in PE anymore. My kids love it, but I'm not sure what they do in elementary anymore,
I
aside
don't
from just
either.
play games.
I don't either, man. And like you said, we do when we do our cardiac output sessions, handstand holds is one of those. And a progression of that is a wall walk. Can we start in a push-up position, climb up, chest to the wall, and climb down, which is
Hmm.
a CrossFit movement, but like just the body awareness and strength to be able to do that and just control your body is such an underrated thing this day and age. I had a couple juniors in my class that transferred out of my class because they were tired of the silly animal movements that we do. That I'm trying to go play college ball and we would never do any of this in college. I was like, bro, first of all, you're not gonna go play college ball.
Yeah,
But if you did, I guarantee you would see all of these primal movements that we do.
yeah.
And one of them was a football player that played on the line. I'm like, you need to learn how to interact with that ground and be able to
Oh yeah.
control your body on that ground. And everything we do in here will tie over that if you buy into it.
Hmm.
But again, it goes back to some kids are just too cool.
Yeah.
I think it's just a form of self-protection, protecting
Oh
their
yeah.
ego. So, but I love the primal movements, like you said, that there was a point when we were growing up that was free play. That's what we did when we weren't supervised. And elementary, I felt like we tumbled a lot and
Yeah.
jumped rope a lot. I got some kids that I'm like, you've never jumped rope before? Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like jump rope for heart was like a huge
yeah,
piece. It was a huge piece of
yeah,
elementary and middle school and high school PE. I remember this.
yep.
It's like, well, I get a flyer about it, but I don't hear anything about it. My kids will tell me if they jump rope. I promise you that. But aside from the flyer, I mean, I guess they're doing it. What's a fad that you would like to see die in terms of strength conditioning, or even a methodology that you've heard about? Because I've got one I'll piggyback on when you're done.
That sprinting only,
So
sprinting
feed the
only.
cats, feed the cats.
And like yes. I don't I think Feed the Cats have done a great job of shifting that to where you have sport coaches that are running gassers and like doing things for the sake of this is hard. So I think they've done a great job and kind of putting emphasis on sprint work, which you need. Like I still sprint and when we're working on a lactic stuff, I sprint and we do full recovery.
Hmm.
Uh, so I preface that with saying like they've done great stuff in shifting the pendulum, but I don't think sprinting only is going to take care of every need that needs to be met when playing a sport or preparing you for life after that sport.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And it's hard to have that conversation with someone that has bought into it because they've been told that aerobic is, it's a waste of time and you should never be doing it. But the truth of it is, those tempo runs that you do build the capacity to allow them to sprint faster. So now they're 70%. It keeps climbing and climbing and climbing. So it one feeds the other as opposed to just feeding the cats, which I just drives me nuts.
Well, and the thing is, like, what if you're learning a new skill or trying to sharpen that skill, what is the first thing, like if I'm trying to learn a song on guitar, what's the first thing that I'm going to do to try to learn a solo? I'm going to try to slow that down so my brain can understand and I can coordinate these patterns. I don't think there's anything wrong with slowing. We don't have to all out sprint.
Yeah,
And I think a lot of kids this age, especially if their coordination is an issue, just telling them to sprint as hard as they can is going to be more detrimental for them than to say, hey, I want you to be about 90% here, and I want you to focus on getting good front side mechanics, getting
hmm
not being so long back here. Like, let's work on this, a nice tall posture, pelvis not dumped forward. There's merit in that. And I think when you bring the gates out, the timing gates out, it it gives them that mindset that I need to sprint all out and have a PR every time. And I think that can be very detrimental for a kid when mechanics start to break down
yeah,
instead of tempo runs are great. Hey, I need your form. I need a nice tall posture. I need you to stay organized on this. I don't need you sprinting all out because I promise you, if we can handle this form at 70, 75% and even get diving into 80%, especially on change of directions, it's going to pay off whenever you do have to go all out and the structural integrity is staying together instead of falling apart because all you've known is I need to sprint all out and then your form goes to trash. So I think there's such value in slowing things down and doing things slow to go faster.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Like with our tempo runs, I always bring in calisthenics into it too. It's something I've always done because it builds capacity across the body. So, all right, well, 10 crunches, you got 5 push-ups. Stand up, we're going to rest 45 seconds. And as the season gets closer, we'll pare it back down to like 35 seconds, get it on the play clock. Even something I've always done with basketball guys too, once I get a chance to work with them on that aspect is, it doesn't matter how fast we really are, it matters how efficient we can become, especially on a basketball court. Efficiency rules. Uh,
I have that conversation with a lot of my athletes that play a sport, and usually the aerobic capacity is the first thing that's getting blamed when a kid is either getting beat or they're so tired. I'm like, look, if you know where to be on the court, on the field, on the pitch, like if you know where to be, that minimizes the amount of energy
yeah,
you're expending.
yeah,
And like I forget what it like Messi and LeBron James, like they've recorded as far as professional athletes the most amount of walking
yeah. Oh yeah,
miles because they know where to be. There's
yeah,
no wasted energy.
yeah,
And like, yeah, like you're going all out and you're hustling down and back and you're doing this, but you're expending so much energy because you don't know where to be.
yeah.
And you appear to be out of shape. So that's usually where coaches go to. We're not conditioned enough here. I'm like, no, you guys just suck at basketball because your guys don't know where to be. Like I guarantee you, like this kid that you're saying is out of shape could probably go run 5 miles straight at a nice 80% of his max and be fine.
hmm
Like, but when you throw in this neural aspect of having to make decisions
Yeah,
and know where to be, like all of a sudden your aerobic capacity isn't good anymore. Like You're getting me on my dang soapbox. Like I have that conversation with so many of them. Like if you just know where to be, when to be there, you're saving your aerobic capacity so much more and not expending so much energy on wasted movement.
Yep,
That's why doing skill work on top of all this is vital, especially getting to the next level. So
for sure. Like it's just like we can only do so much, but the skill aspect of it is what drives everything.
yeah.
But if we can just do our part, make sure they're where you need them for game time, then the skill work that you're going to do as a coach comes in. And if you can't get it done, I'm sorry, but you need to go. As an
Yeah.
AD, I've had to make those decisions.
Yeah.
It's not a whole lot of fun sometimes because you really like these guys, but it's like, man, you just can't coach. I'm sorry.
Yeah. 100%, man.
Well, cool. What do
Uh,
you think that the field is going to go in the next 10 years? The strength conditioning, athletic performance, and whole. Where do you think we're going to go? Because we go in peaks and valleys, and then we kind of circle back to something we did 20 years ago. Then it kind of goes and goes, then all right, well, back to the next fad. Like, where do you really see us going, though?
I think the pendulum is swinging back to where a lot of coaches are at least trying to dive into what good conditioning looks like.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm maybe I'm just in my little cocoon, but like I don't see, even on social media, I don't see all this stupid stuff that feed the cats. It's like we're just running mindless gassers and like so I don't know, man. I don't have a clue where the field is gonna go. I know where I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Uh I try to keep an open mindset and try to learn. Um I wish we could all just get along and know that like going this far left or this far right isn't gonna help anything. And just be open-minded as far as what you do with your kids has zero effect on how I program. Like,
Hmm.
uh, I think we have a lot of that in this industry where, and I mean, I've been guilty of it too,
Oh, yeah.
judging what someone's doing with their students or with their athletes. And I step back and I'm like, why do I care?
Why do
Why
you
do I
care?
care? Yeah, like what they're doing has zero merit on how I program. Uh, So I don't know, man. I don't know what the next fad will be. I hope it's just balanced training.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I'm with you on that.
What are you thinking? What do you think this ship's gonna sail to?
I think at some point we come back in the middle, and the middle is usually where things belong. Like there's times to be really strong, there's times to be really fast, and there's times to be conditioned. The cool part about it is aerobic conditioning and strength work match up. These are not competing interests. But when you get into that preseason time, depending on the sport, like if you got a wrestler, all right, well, the lactic work that they do on the mats takes over. And it's our job to make sure that we can recover mitochondria and make sure that they're good to go. Because
Yep.
it's really, we need to operate it as an ebb and flow. I love Charlie Francis. Like I think he is the greatest coach that has ever lived. And I don't say that without even batting an eye.
Right.
You can say whatever with Ben Johnson in 88, but he had the model that was right. It's high low. You want to get parasympathetic tone. Like
Yeah.
that's the goal. If you're always in fight and flight, you can't operate like you need to. And they found that out with special operations guys too, which is, most of those guys are in like a 70 to 80% parasympathetic
That's
most of the
crazy.
time, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's
But
crazy.
that's why they can ruck 20 miles, complete a mission, get out of there before anyone knows.
Well,
Um,
I posted a rant today because my wife and I were having this conversation of like your CNS your CNS doesn't mitigate stress, whether that's training stress,
yeah,
life stress. And like you get these people that just their escape is going to the gym
yeah,
and just going hard as hell
yeah.
and just stacking like those people don't ever truly know what like bringing it back down into a
Yeah.
parasympathetic state at a zero feels like, because all their CNS knows is intensity, intensity, intensity.
Hmm.
Uh, so yeah, I got on a rant today about that, and but like you said, and that's what I try to preach to my athletes, like the easy stuff is needed. Like you need to be able to reset your CNS so you can handle the high intensity stuff and actually know what it's like to relax and bring it down. And the thing that social media and just life in general, like there's no receipt for the low intensity stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's no sweat coming from it. There's no elevated heart rate. We're not throwing up. Our muscles aren't burning from it. So it gets washed away as laziness or nothing got accomplished in this easy session.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating, and with the day and age that we live in, it it just gets cast as laziness instead
Yeah.
of we're doing this for a reason.
Yeah.
You've been going hard at it for 2 days. Like heart rate, like I don't I don't think the heart rate is proxy for the amount of work accomplished, but is definitely an indicator of the toll that that work that we've done is taken on us. Uh, so you've had 2 high intensity days. Like, trust me, we're gonna ride that bike pretty easy today.
Mhm.
We're gonna do some mobility. We're gonna do some off foot conditioning, and it should feel easy. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. Hopefully, if you do this session right, tomorrow we'll come in and we can ramp it back up.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think that's one of the hardest parts of our job is trying to relay that to young athletes.
Yeah.
That there's still merit in doing easy stuff. Now the tricky part is a lot of them still need to know how to do hard things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now that doesn't mean hard thing being come in and like go crazy on the session. Like hard things like showing up every day and
Mhm.
giving your best effort. Uh, so there's such a fine line of, and again, it goes back to relationships with your athletes, knowing what their home life is like, what kind of life stress they're dealing with, and being able to manipulate what kind of easy session we're doing, and do we need to push today? I think there was a study that I read somewhere not long ago that the number one predictor in college athletics was life stress.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I think, like I said, I think there's such a fine line of in what we do, being able to mitigate that. Like, no, I think we can push hard today, or nah, man, like you've had a pretty crazy 2 or 3 days with me, not to mention what you're dealing with your parents going through or the school stress you're dealing with. So we're gonna tone it back today, and I need you to just chill today. Uh, yeah, man.
Yeah. Like 15 year ago, Jeff would have told a kid to shove it and do it. But now, like I had a freshman basketball player. We're finishing up tempos one day, and he's like, "Man, my Achilles just hurts." It's like, "Let's okay, let's just walk around the track, dude." Normally, I would have told someone, just nut up and go do it. But it's like, well, dude, you played 7 games over the
Yeah,
weekend. I can't expect that out of you right now. Because that's during the big peak time for basketball during the summer here, during Kentucky before that dead period. It's like when they play a bunch of high level games. And well, I think you're in shape, man. You played 7 games.
yeah. And and I tell like my classes the answer, like I need you to be honest with yourself, communicate with
Right.
me. Uh, something is going to be expected of you every day that you're in my class. You're never going to hear me say, just sit out today.
Yeah.
If you've got a bum leg, we've got one good leg and upper body still.
Yeah.
Like, so I need you to communicate well with me on how we're feeling. Be
Yeah.
honest. If you come in every day and it's always something, I'm going to get to the point where, hey, just do the work.
Yeah.
But if you work hard for me, you show up and give your best effort on that day, and you come to me and you've got an injury that we need to deal with, a nagging injury, then we're going to modify it. But something is expected every day, and
Yeah.
sitting down is never going to be an answer. We can work around whatever you're dealing with.
Yeah. Like I always tell our kids, something my mentor told me was, yeah, if you can't do A, B, or C, you do X, Y, or Z. So
Oh, I like that.
all right, we can't squat because your knee's bothering you. All right, well, we can do some TKEs and we can do some low box step ups. There's always something we can do to shore that up. But if you let that linger and you let it go on, you can't have that two-way conversation, then we're both hosed here. I look
Yeah.
stupid for not seeing it, and you look even dumber for not telling me. So
Yep.
so it's communication is what matters.
It is, man. And having that relationship and knowing your kids, like you said, I've got some athletes that they just want to dodge work.
Oh yeah,
So when those kids come to me, it's 95% of the time and be like,
do
I'm
the
just
work.
you need to do the work. Now the other kids that I know that they're struggling or they've got something going on, then hey, well then we'll do this today instead of this. Give me your best on this and we'll see what happens going forward.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I don't want to keep you for too much longer. Can you tell me about your book? Tell me about your conditioning manual. I'll put a link
So
down in the description.
awesome. Build a dog. Everything that is inside of the book, I had posted on my Instagram for free at some point, and just different pieces of coming up with the limiter tree that I came up with, and kind of the field tests. And I kind of uploaded all of my notes, everything that I had written and kept. I uploaded it into Claude, and I said, "Hey, is there any way you could help organize my thoughts and make this an ebook that?" And the prompt that I put in was freaking huge, and I went back and forth probably a week with Claude, uh, with the renderings, the language that I use, and it popped out. It popped out, build the dog, and it was my verbiage, everything that I had posted and spat out, and I shared it with a couple uh, strength coaches that I have a group chat with, and they were like, "Bro, like this is high level stuff that I think someone would buy." And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if anybody would be interested. I was like, it didn't do too well whenever I posted it. Like a lot of this stuff, whenever I posted it on Instagram, it didn't do too well. And then they just kept pushing me, and I was like, all right, I'll do a little announcement on Instagram. And I went in thinking, man, if I could sell 5 books, that would be a success. And
Oh yeah.
I'm up around 70 right now, and it's been pretty humbling and a blessing. But it's kind of just some stuff that from my classes and some private training and all this stuff that I tested on myself and uh, just put together to have in one spot. And I'm getting great feedback on it so far. And I've had a couple of the coaches that I shared it with were like, man, we did the first test and the dog capacity test. And he's like, it's crazy how many of my guys just cannot jog for just 6 minutes straight
Mhm.
and nasal breathe. And so it's kind of why I put it together to help. I mean, that's why we're in the industry we're in to serve. So it's been humbling to, I guess, say I'm an author. But if you go through it, man, give me some feedback.
Will
I'm
do. Will do.
open. There's already some things I wish I would have done different, but I think that's any product that anybody creates. If you don't just freaking cut yourself off and deliver it, there's always going to be that, well, I'm going to add this or I'm going to add this. There's a couple things that, as far as the language I use, I would have switched up, but it's out there for the world now. So
It's a pretty
yeah,
cool feeling though, isn't it?
it is a really cool feeling, man. And I have like I got on Instagram last July, and I told myself I was just on X or Twitter before that, and I told myself I'm gonna try Instagram and see if I kind of help with my online clients and just see what happens. And I've had some pretty lucky videos that that caught some attention, and this July will be a year that I've been on there, and I'll probably take a break. Told myself I was going to post every day for a year and see what happens. And uh, I don't think Build the Dog would have happened without the little push from Instagram, as far as having some DMs from some PE teachers that run the weight room, like, hey, I would love some help on how you program conditioning. And so I don't think I would have ever written this book without the help of Instagram and the push from some of the strength coaches that I'm really close with. So I have them to thank for getting this out there. And it is a really cool feeling.
No, for sure, for sure. Well, good stuff, man. Tyler Franklin, appreciate you coming on today, and look forward to
Absolutely.
talking with you more. Just if you don't mind, hold on just for a second after I push stop recording. Just kind of wrap this up. But you've been awesome. Tell us where to find you on social media and whatnot.
So I am on X or Twitter at TYRY202, Tyry202. And then on Instagram, I am at T Franklin Performance. Those are the only social media outlets I got right now. Currently at Murray High School, and then I own Tyler Franklin Performance, which is my side business, my private training business. So
It's awesome, man. I appreciate it. And I'm excited to get to know you a little bit more because just
absolutely,
being
man.
up to being the Kentucky strength coaches, that and finally be able to network with some guys because we both know Mike pretty well.
Mike's a unit, man. Mike's a great dude. So I'm
Mike's
glad
a freak.
he's a genetic freak, man. So I'm glad that we have that connection, and it was great getting to know you at the clinic that we saw each other at, and I really appreciate you having me on. It's fun to talk shop with like-minded conditioning fools.
I love it, man. I appreciate today. Uh, Thanks, man.
See you, bro.